Hey, can anybody hear me? Hey, I'm live. Anybody out there? Stash is live. Welcome to the Stash Live show. We've been live for 32 seconds. Anybody out there? Yeah. I didn't really invite anybody. So welcome to the Stash Live chat for New Year's Eve 2019. Friend! $20.19. Almost done. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? I am low tech. Well, it's been a crazy year. 2020. 2020 will be even more crazy. Can you hear me out there? Mella Forta, give me the thumbs up if you can hear me, friend. Just one thumb. Crap. Probably nobody can hear me. Anyway, hopefully doing more YouTubes. Thanks to the family of Col Matt Urban who got out to me. Just let me check. Probably nobody can hear me. Crap. Test. Oh, you can kind of hear me. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I want to thank the family of Col Matt Urban who got out to me. I'm going to be working on that this year. See what we can do. It looks like the postage stamp is out. Shout out to other controversial vloggers who talk about stuff you're not supposed to talk about. Anyway, I mostly do, what do? I do YouTubes about UFOs, Bigfoot, bitch about being Polish American, bitch about politics, and so hopefully it's going to be a good year for that. I'm going to continue that. Definitely 2020 is even going to be worse politically, I think, and more wild. Hopefully it goes okay geopolitically. Anybody here Eastern Standard Time? Okay. Could you hear me? Yeah. So hopefully you can see me in this camera. So let me see where it would be. So okay, so if you're gonna tune in at, I'll make a note. This gets started at 4:59. Okay, so about 5 minutes into this starts. So hopefully it's going to be a good year. This is Stash. I go by Stash, the Polish-American blogger, or Stash, the Forbidden Conspiracy blogger. And I've done a lot of YouTubes. I've done a lot on some rare espionage stuff. There's a reason for that I won't go into, and geopolitics and things. I've had some YouTubes banned and shut down, of course. I guess for good reason. No problem, YouTube. I don't want a problem with YouTube. YouTube is trying to keep everybody safe. But I will make a note of this. This video pretty much starts at 5 minutes. Okay, so I'll put that in the liner notes if they let me do it. Okay. But what I think went well this year is I got some shout outs from the colonels, Colonel Matt Urban, and family and friends of the colonel, a great Polish American war hero who, if you've seen my YouTubes, I've said, of course, he's been purposely forgotten and stuff like that. And I think that's well known, mostly to Polish people or whatever. I've also done some shout outs to Chicago and Detroit and other areas where Polish American people live, and see if you know the neighborhood's getting busted up. I have kind of a rare one on Pole Town, which was a Polish American community, and everybody's basically been fled. They had to get out of there. Some of us might say that was a result of social engineering. Okay. I don't hear much about this in Polish Americans. We don't have any connections that much. Ethnic neighborhoods in America in general are gone by the wayside, and they're disappearing. And in particular, the Polish ones. I am aware that there's some large parishes in Chicago that are shutting down. There was one in Cleveland that they kept going, and St. Stanislav's over in Boston. Chelsea, Massachusetts is shutting down. There's a little Polish community in Salem, Mass. They're hanging on with it, with the church over there. And the so-called Polish Triangle in Dorchester's going. So I talked a lot about that. If you're from Chicago, please give me a shout. I am not a big fan of the Polish American Congress of the United States. I have at times privately called them the Polish American cowards. What can I say? I think there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed that I'm not really going to go into much on here, you know, but there's been some political matters in which the Polish American Congress has actually told the Polish Americans not to protest. There was also a big fight over in New Jersey about the confidential attempt to shut down or remove the Cotton Forest statue. I'm not really sure. That might have been late 2018. But nevertheless, I believe they've at least saved that statue. But there was some trouble. In general, you might agree if you're Polish or from Poland or Polish American that a lot of the history and stuff is generally completely, there's kind of a blackout on it, or it's completely unknown. Poland is in a tough spot in terms of history of World War II, being that the United States wanted to not offend their ally Russia. I've gone into that in some YouTubes. Poles, and I say this in every YouTube when I mention Polish Americans, our people weren't allowed to march on Victory Day in World War II. And many of us, whether you're a, you know, nominally Polish, you know, more American than Polish, but still are happy to be connected, wanting to feel the sense of connection to the fatherland, motherland, whatever you want to call it. are probably discouraged by the lack of credit that the Poles have gotten. Historically, in World War II, I've done a couple of videos on that. I've also done one about General Sosabitsky, who's betrayed by Gene Hackman, who shows how the Polish general was right and the bridge too far, and he was screwed and told to shut up. And you know how that battle went. The Allies lost a lot of guys needlessly. A lot of Poles were big contributors to the Battle of Monte Cassino and other kind of suicidal battles that they don't get much credit for. They don't get any credit or very much credit for the incredible success they had with code breaking in World War II. These are things I'm going to continually talk about. It's not very well known that the best pilot in World War II in the European theater was a Polish-American Pole, Francis Gaby Stanley Gabretsky. So I've gone on a lot about those two guys, the pilot, Gabretsky, and the soldier, Colonel Matt Urban. And after a while, I was saying, you know, he's the greatest soldier, and I'd said, who's more forgotten, him or Audie Murphy? And I was hoping to create a little bit of a stir, get some Irish guys pissed, and get them on here and talk about that. But I did make the point that both our guy and the Irish-American guy, even though he's a movie star, is kind of forgot too. How much of that is political, I don't know. So I'm going to hammer away at this stuff this year. I'm going to hopefully get a better camera. I'm hopefully going to get a microphone. I'm hopefully going to be able to learn how to talk on this thing. As you also may have noticed, I have a lot of extremely rare, bizarre, occult videos, conspiracy stuff. Nothing really that offensive on the face of it. A number of them have been removed. Perhaps they were deemed too controversial or something. Sorry about that. So how do you feel about this stuff? The Polish Americans, I think, are going away. We're going to be the first group of the diaspora that was fairly large Slavic group. I think we're on our way out, and the other European groups, due to birth rates and things like that, are also going out. Now, I know you're not supposed to really talk about this stuff, but it's just a plain fact. There you go. What do you think about this? Is it better? Is it better that in the free market society that you just meet the best person, no matter who they are, or are you going to miss being part of your own crew? One of the more unpopular ones with other Poles and Polish Americans was one I did a YouTube on. I didn't think it's a great idea at all to have a missile defense system in Poland. It's seen by the Russians as an offensive weapon, and they've warned the Poles about it a couple of times. Now, the Poles have gone full all-American, and as far as I know, pretty, very similar people, Slavs and Poles, Polish and Russians, but there's been some things I've hearing that kind of negative about some Russophobia over there. This is huge. I've also witnessed firsthand some incorrect reports. When Poland was celebrating, after 100 years of freedom, of victory under Pilsudski, it was sort of this whole idea that it was like a white nationalist thing or whatever. every time I've been to Poland, to Warsaw or Krakow, the people, in particular young people, are they're relatively sophisticated. I mean, and well, I didn't want to use the term liberal, but they're definitely sophisticated. Much so than the dumb Polish stereotype. In fact, they're very studious, very well spoken. Uh, and they would be comparable to a lot of them are comparable to your typical major cities of the United States, and liberals and so forth, educated. Um, and I think there's a media attempt to frame it up that they're all a bunch of football hooligans, whatever. Now, because of what they lost a lot of people in the war, and because they were under communism, a lot of those states are not into full and free open borders like their counterparts, which you might consider more Western, like your France and Germany and so forth. And there has been some reports, some very disturbing reports, that a lot of that hasn't gone well. For my 2 cents, I think that there's nothing wrong with securing your borders, but stay away from war. Don't make it so there's need to so many refugees from Syria or whatever it comes to. End these wars. Is that going to get me in trouble? Say end wars, and also that the breakup of Polish American neighborhoods is a reality? I hope not. It's my feeling that it hasn't gone well for me when I attempt to have political discussions with the Polish American people, quite frankly. They seem very little interested in it. In fact, a lot of people like to change their name because it's a pain in the ass. You go to get some job somewhere, you're going to get the Polak jokes, whatnot, Polish jokes. I should not say Polak. Let's do it. So, hopefully I can post this. Sorry for the sloppiness, but I want to know. I'm going to call this something. Polish Americans, in Poles, do you want to exist? In this what you might call neoliberal world of the Economist magazine and Wall Street Journal world, CNN world, NPR world. It's open borders and complete free trade and sophistication, cosmopolitanism, materialism, anti-culture is a real thing. I think, and a lot of people like it. They want to embrace the materialistic lifestyle, and there's no question that the greatest, the culture with the best or widest appeal is the American movie culture, or what have you. And as far as I know, Schwarzenegger is also huge in China. And they've had Miami Vice, the old one and the new one, in Poland forever, right? So there's an enormous cultural appeal of the American culture, but is it good for is it good for individual cultures? I'm glad somebody was listening. So definitely let me know what you think of this, my Polish American friends. I haven't, up until several years ago, heard about Pole Town, the entire town of Polish people eradicated. What do you think about that? Is it all good? Is it good? Is that just a change? What's the reality? Have people moved up in the system to the suburbs and they vacated Detroit? Is there any truth to the Devil's Night? Massive fires in Detroit? Are you even allowed to talk about this stuff? Again, as I mentioned, with my fellow Polish-American brothers in the United States, I haven't been able to really have any discussions about it. It's not something that's ever happened with me. There's a lot of pride, but yes and no. Then there's always the sense that it was a outside group. But that's my sense. That's one of the first big ones to go. And in Poland itself, you're in the EU. You've got to make money. So countless people go to work in the UK, in Ireland, and it must be exciting, but it's a lot of pressure. I think Manchester, England, and cities like that, they have, they have to have signs in some of the schools or something. Is that good? Are you going to really be Polish anymore if you have to go to the UK, if you have to go to Ireland? Is it really fair to those countries? I know it's been said because there's so many Polish pilots came and turned the tide in the Battle of Britain that actually the UK owed the Poles some, and they've taken in some immigrants. Are you from the UK? Are you sore at the Poles? Are you from Ireland? Are you pissed that there's too many Poles who've come? Or is it awesome? Have the Poles, like other people, now that the so-called Iron Curtain has fallen for a couple of decades, are doing well, have entered, Ultimate Fighting Challenge and gained some celebrity and entered the American materialist lifestyle. Anyway, so let me know what you think, my Polish brothers. I'm anti-missile defense system. I'm anti-getting involved with NATO. Sorry. Get out of the EU. Follow the BRICS. Have your own Brexit in Poland. It'll be painful, but you'll still be Poland. That's what I think. Now, if you've gone to the UK, let me know what you think. If you're from Chicago or the New Jersey area that was heavily populated by Poles, is it still what it was, or is that just all a myth? I know St. Stanislav's Cathedral in Chicago used to be 40,000 strong on Sunday. I really doubt that's the case anymore. What are you doing? Is there any Polish people left? Is everything Pole Town now? Right? Is being Polish American a thing that's dying out? I'm going to call this sloppy live stream, is being Polish American dying out. This stream starts at 5 minutes. I'll put that in the liner notes. Happy New Year. Bardzo dobrze. Everybody get off your duper and give me some liner notes. This year, Colonel Matt Urban, we're going to get him a statue or something, and we're going to get him a movie, or we're going to do something. All right. So, shout out to Colonel Matt Urban's family, who and friends who I've actually heard from on this YouTube channel. Greatest combat soldier ever from the United States of America, Polish American, Colonel Matt Urban. Nobody's going to do it for us. We've got to come up with the movie. We've got to come up with more statues. Tell me in the liner notes if you got the bridge over there in Buffalo area. I wasn't even sure. Or was it Michigan? Sorry. All right. Hey, God bless everybody. Sorry for ranting. Sorry for some of the negativity in this. I'm against the missile defense system. Don't report me to NATO. Don't Polish Army guys. Don't jump me when I go back and visit Krakow. Okay. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you got something out of this live stream. I know what I'm going to call it now. The Polish Americans dying out, my friends. All right. Have a great one. Happy New Year.